Excellent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wealth Warriors Sunday evening Zoom call. I stress that because I often get that bit wrong. It's definitely Sunday, and it's the 18th of January 2026. My name's Andy Galloway, and we're going to be talking tonight about Wealth Warriors, who it is, why it is, what we're trying to achieve, and how we're trying to achieve it, including the aims and ambitions and so on, and then how that affects you and what how it's going to benefit you and your life going forward. Your attempts to become financially free, or at least live an abundant life. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Welcome to everybody on the call. I appreciate you guys for being here with me every week, and the people that are listening by video. I'd be interested to hear if you get through right to the very end. I'd be interested to hear. Just drop a yes, or I made it to the end in the comments. Like and subscribe to the channel. It just helps this message get out to all other wealth warriors all around the world. So I'm going to, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen, and we will have a look at a PowerPoint presentation. And although it's a similar format to a lot of things that I've done previously, I'm going to try to change things up, say things in a different way, maybe impact your consciousness in a slightly different way than I have before, because this system isn't something that you'd have seen before if you're not part of Wealth Warriors already. A lot of leaders profess to be able to build a community or help their people, focus on their people. They don't really know how to do it, and it's just words they like to say. It sounds good, but they don't know how to do it, and so this is going to be different from anything you've seen before. We don't buy into the hype and the greed and all the excitement of different platforms. We buy into our own excitement about our own future, our own independent future, not dependent on any one platform. So here we are, financial freedom fighters. We've got a guy there with a handful of Bitcoins, not quite sure why he's dropping them, distributing them everywhere. And the chart behind him shows Bitcoin going up in price, which it is. I don't know if you know this. I predicted about 10 days ago, I predicted the Bitcoin's going up in the early part of 2026. I think it's going to get to $157,000 by about mid-July to mid-August, somewhere around there. And it's going to touch 157,000 and a couple of hundred, and then it's going to drop away quite dramatically. So if you're interested in trading, then if you make some money on that, just send me 10% and that'll be fine. And if you lose money, it's your own fault for listening to me. But that's just my prediction, something I like to do once in a while. So we are financial freedom fighters in our own lives. We're not trying to change the world. We just want to change our own circumstances, our own prospects for our lifetime, for our children, for our dependents, okay, for our own part of the community. We're not interested in burning down the world and starting again. We just want to make a difference to our own lives, because if we don't make a difference in the next few years, we won't have this choice. That's my considered opinion, that we only have a few years to put something together that's going to benefit us for the rest of our lives. We're on a slippery slope, and I don't know if you know this. We are on a slippery slope, and I've been saying this for 40 years as a public speaker and a motivational speaker. And that slippery slope is getting harder and harder to climb. And there will be a time in the future when most of us who live in societies where we're guaranteed a state pension, that state pension is going to disappear. They're constantly playing with it. They're constantly tweaking it, reducing it, making you qualify for different things and so on. At some point, they'll say there are no more state pensions, and that whatever you've managed to put aside during your lifetime for your retirement, that's what you've got to live on. And there are going to be a lot of people badly let down by the system when it does that. Don't be one of them. I've been saying it for 40 years, and it's been happening in a small way. Different rules and regulations have caused it all to become much, much more difficult. For example, 40 years ago in the UK, a man on a retirement income, a state pension, could afford to have a wife and pay for the house and pay for his children, have a car and a holiday every year on a state pension. There's absolutely no way that can happen. Now, most people on a state pension work hard to make sure they don't freeze to death during the winter. And sometimes there's a choice between food on the table and heat, so they don't die of hypothermia. So that's a drastic change from where we were 40 years ago, and it's only going to get worse. So if you don't sort out the finance in your own life, nobody else is going to do it for you. The government won't, your boss won't, no financial institution's going to. They're all in it for themselves. You need to be in this for yourself. And so that's it. You need to be a financial freedom fighter, fighting for your own financial freedom. Before I get too far into this, so you need to understand that nothing is financial advice or investment advice. Anything I say is not advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform. It's a community, but we do promote online platforms that meet our strict criteria. And if you do decide to invest in any of those platforms, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose. Don't listen to people promoting the platforms saying, get in, put a lot of money in, cash in your pension, put it all in, make this much money in the next 6 months. Okay, that's too much risk. You don't need to do that. The system we use, you don't need to do that. It might take a bit longer, but if something goes wrong, and we've all had things go wrong before, you don't want to lose your retirement income. You don't want to lose your house. You don't want to lose your husband or wife because they're now fed up of you making stupid decisions. Okay, avoid the greed. It's hard work sometimes. We are all inherently greedy, I think. And so that's why it's one of the 7 deadly sins. If it was easy, then it wouldn't be, there'd be no black marks against it. So it's inherent in all of us, I think, to grab as big a slice of the pie as we can. And sometimes we overstretch and we face consequences for that. So avoid that. Only use money you can comfortably afford to lose. And I'm not an employee of any of the companies that we're talking about here. I do get paid to give a presentation on e-estate once a week, a half-hour presentation, but that's it. I don't work for the company. They just, they recognize brilliance when they see it, obviously. Goes without saying. So what is the problem? Why do we have to band together and form a community called Wealth Warriors? Well, this is what we've been doing all on our own for years, is that we all fall prey to scams. And the reason is there are just too many of them. It's so hard to avoid them. And they look shiny. And our friends are all so enthusiastic about them. And they tell when you say, well, I don't like the look of it, they say, but I'll give you $100 to get in. Or, oh, no, you're wrong. Look, it does this. And look how much money you can make. And this guy, I'm being paid every few weeks. I'm getting some money out. All these things is because they don't know how to assess a business, an online business, and whether it's going to work. So, but we're sort of sociable creatures. We like our friends to like us. So when our friends are enthusiastic about something, we want to get in with them because that's just, we want to be part of the club, particularly if it looks like a club that's going to be winning. Okay, we need to just step back and say, regardless of my friendship with this person, I'm not going to get involved in something that's a scam. And there are a lot of scams out there. Scams are very easy to spot. Most of them are very easy to spot. Some of them are very, very sophisticated, but most of them are easy to spot. The other type of problem is that the business isn't, and I kind of alluded to this in a conversation with somebody just before this presentation. Sometimes businesses aren't scams. They're set up with all the best intentions in the world, but the person running it doesn't really know how to run a business. And so when there are difficulties, he doesn't know how to handle them. And so the whole thing goes bust. Sometimes the only person who knows how to run that business will die or become ill or just get fed up and doesn't want to do it anymore. Okay. And we've got no control over any of that. So we need to look for businesses that are well set up as well as not scams. And then there's a third category of businesses that they don't get bust, but regulators shut them down. Sometimes they don't shut. Sometimes they shut down legitimate businesses, and the reason they do that is because too many people complain about that particular business. Maybe the website leads people to believe one thing, but the reality is different. So people get upset and they complain. And when the regulators get enough complaints about a business, then they will issue a cease and desist order. And those businesses then have 2 options. And the first option is to get a lot of money and hunker down and fight that decision, fight it in the courts. It'll take many, many millions of dollars to fight it in court, and it will take 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Most people faced with that or just shut the doors and walk away with whatever they've got in their pocket at the moment. Most people walk away. I have consulted with a few people in that situation, and I said, if you want to change what you're doing, this is a list of all the things you need to do to become a good business. And when I present them with the list, they look at this list and they say, I can't do that. I don't know how to do any of those things, how to set up a board of directors, how to balance your teams, how to, the compliance issues and insurances and so on. They say, I don't want to do that. I had a good idea. If it's not going to work, then I'm out of here. And so they are reasons why businesses fail. Sometimes they're scams, sometimes they're just poorly run, and sometimes they get shut down through no fault of their own, which means that the businesses that are going to be around for a long time, the businesses we're looking for, are very few in number. That's why I investigated over the last 2 years almost 250 different businesses. I really only selected about 10, and out of those 10, only about 5 of them are really worthwhile. And we're thinking of getting rid of another one fairly soon. Okay, so it's a very, very small number of businesses that I hang my hat on and say, I think this is worth introducing to my friends. So that's kind of where we are. And it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you can't become truly free. You can't be financially free, time and money free, and free from government control. Because if you're living within a control matrix, and you may not want to hear this, you may not have a clue what I'm talking about, but if you live within a control matrix and you don't have any money, and then you do something to make a lot of money, you're still living within the control matrix. Okay, and that's where the slippery slope is. All the time you're in this control matrix, you're being pulled back down towards the bottom. And even if you end up making a lot of money, at some point you will end up back at the bottom. It's a constant battle to stay either up or moving up. And if you don't know how to do it, you don't stand a chance. And also, if you don't know how to get out of that, off of that slippery slope, get out of the rat race, if you don't know how to do that, then you're stuck with it. But we teach you how to avoid that, how to get out of that. So individually, we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past, but collectively, we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry. So you notice I'm not saying to you, you're never going to lose money again. What I'm saying is if you do lose money, it won't be a lot of money. It'll be $100, a couple of $100. It won't be your life savings. It won't be your mortgage. It won't be your pension fund. Okay. It's just going to be a small amount of money, because with all the best will in the world, you can't predict everything. We got involved in a platform a while ago and we assessed it. People I know met the people, when they saw all the big offices, the equipment they're using, so on and so forth for 18 months. And all of a sudden, after 18 months, the company said, we're not doing that anymore. We're doing this instead. And all of the money that we'd all put in and all of the future we'd invested with that company came to nothing. We couldn't possibly have predicted that on day one. But what we could do between starting and when they closed the doors, we could have managed that situation so that when we leave with more than we arrived. It's unfortunate. We'd love to have businesses that we're going to work with for 20, 30, 40 years. But if the most we can do is walk away with more than we started with, that's the best we can do. Okay, and there's a lot more than most people do. So we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls. So what are the benefits? One is you will never lose all of your money to a scammer again, because we won't be encouraging you to put all of your money in. You'll protect your permanent networks of contacts, and you'll see how that works in a minute. And you'll build future businesses with far more profit. You'll see how that works in a minute. You can build one business and you'll grow all of the different businesses that we have with almost no effort. You can grow all of the businesses just by building one. Start small and build big over time. We also have a system where if you want to, you can recoup. If you've ever taken out a loan, a mortgage, if you've got a bank account where you spend money from your bank account, okay, you can, all of that money, you can recoup that. And you can do that every single year. So you recoup the money, you spend the money, you recoup the money, put it into your bank, spend the money, recoup the money, put it into your bank, spend the money. You get the idea. We call it an infinite money loop or an infinite money protocol. And so you can get involved in that. That's a tremendous platform that we operate with. And you can become free and wealthy and live an abundant life. So all 7 of those things are concrete things that at some point in the future you'll be able to point to your business, your time with Wealth Warriors, and say, did I get those benefits? Yes, I got that one there, I got that one there, I got that one there. They're concrete benefits. They're not nebulous, they're not pie in the sky. You will receive those benefits for being part of Wealth Warriors. However, you must follow the rules. You can't say, well, yes, I'm involved in Wealth Warriors, and then just go and do your own thing. The reason we can promise you those benefits is because we know what will happen if you follow the rules. The first rule, probably the most important rule, is don't sign up on any other platform that comes along. And lots of people do this. They think, oh, well, I've got to be the first one in. I've got to get this first mover advantage or early mover advantage. That's all hype. That's all just designed to get you to abandon your common sense and jump into things without checking them out properly. And if you think back about all the times you did that and that company failed you, that's exactly what happened. Take some time, take a month, take 2 months, take 6 months, check it out. Talk to me. I'll check it out for you. Okay. Just don't do a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, my friend's in it and he says it's good, so I'm going to do it. Okay, be more intelligent than that. Be more sophisticated than that. That's what got you into trouble before. Don't keep doing it. And I've been teaching people this now for nearly 2 years, and I still see people doing it. I was on a Zoom call with somebody. They're not on this call, thankfully, so I can talk about them. And that's what happens if you don't turn up. I can talk about you. No, so I was talking to this person and he said, well, I did this and this. I said, why did you do that? I've been telling you for 2 years not to do that. He said, yeah, but my friend said this. I said, so where's your friend now? He said, I don't know. He's not answering my calls. He's not answering my messages. Okay, so don't sign up on any other platform. There's nobody loves you as much as we do here at Wealth Warriors. We really, really want to see you succeed because we are a community. We're not just a collection of people just doing our own thing and getting along well. We are all building a system, and that system is what's going to carry us through. There's an old expression that says a rising tide raises all ships. This is what we're trying to achieve, is we're building a rising tide so that each of us can be raised up by the rising tide, but we're creating. We're not just waiting for somebody else to create it, we're creating it. But if we run around signing up on other platforms, we're not contributing to the rising tide. We're doing what we think is good for us. Well, that's great, but then don't pretend that you're in it for the community, because you're not. You're in it for yourself. Okay, so that's it. And people don't like it sometimes when I talk a little bit tough to them, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because in the past when I've sugarcoated things, people misunderstand. When I use conditional tense to make it sound like I'm being a little bit gentle with people, they don't get the message. They misunderstand me. I think they think something other than what I tried to say. So I don't beat around the bush. If you want to do it, do it. And if you don't want to do it, then go and do your own thing. That's absolutely fine. Nobody minds that. Do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. And again, I see so many people get involved with Wealth Warriors, and I say, well, we've got these 5 platforms. They say, well, I like that one. Yeah, okay, look, we've got 5 platforms. Yeah, I only like that one. I don't care if you don't like them. Sign up in all the platforms, because the people you introduce may like some of the other platforms. Okay, so you're really decimating your own opportunity to build a big community by not showing all of your friends all of the platforms. Yes, you like that one. They might like something else. Somebody else likes something else. Doesn't matter. Sign up in all of them, and that way you can build your community in all of the platforms. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. When I was setting up Wealth Warriors, and some of you know this, when I was setting it up, I made the mistake of having a group of people that we decided all together, this is what we're going to do. And I said, so what we do is to make it fair. Sometimes you can go personal to me and put people below you, and then other times it'll be somebody else will be personal to me and we'll put them below there. And so just trying to be fair. And it almost caused World War III, because people didn't like the fact that, when they were on the top of the pile and that went bust, that counted as their turn at the top. and they didn't like it because it wasn't clear. One minute you've got people in your team, the next minute you haven't. They're in your upline side groups, and it just caused chaos. So I apologize for that. I don't know if I've ever apologized to those people, but I do apologize for that. It wasn't very well thought out. But now that it is well thought out, do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Don't mess around with it. If you've got somebody in platform A, personal to you, put them in platform B, C, D, and E, all personal to you. Then their people go personal to them in all 5 platforms. It's easy to do. It's easier to do than not do, because then you know exactly where everybody is, and you'll see the benefits of that in a minute. Get your personally introduced people to do the same, and support your own people by learning about all of the platforms we adopt. You don't need to know everything. And I don't hesitate to say this. I'm going to stress this a little bit. Don't take the time to learn everything about any of the platforms unless it's your absolute favorite. Okay, because we're looking for, in Wealth Warriors, we only look for 2 things with the platform. One of them is that we can build a passive income, and the other is that we can build a team building income. And so when we join a platform, they can do at least those things. Over a period of time, those platforms say, well, now we've made some money, we can get involved in gaming, we can get involved in NFTs, we can get involved in these other things. Okay, that's fine. If you want to do that, do that. But mostly we're only interested in the passive income and the team building income. If we can do that in all of the platforms, that's all we need to do. So I'm not saying don't get good at any of the businesses, any of the platforms. I'm saying that's all we need. Keep it simple. If you're going to get involved to the nth degree with every single platform, you're not going to have enough time and energy, and mental energy, more importantly, to build 30 different platforms. But if we're just doing passive income, team building income, 30 platforms will be no problem for us if we ever find 30 platforms that are worth our time and effort. So don't spread yourself too thin. The reward there's something called the law of diminishing returns. And so you get your biggest bang from the buck from the passive income and the team building income. And that's all you need. So put the community first. And they're not just words. That's a creed we should be living by. We do more for our people to help them succeed than we do for ourselves. Okay, we make sure that our people understand Wealth Warriors, why they should be putting people in the same position in every platform. We should be getting our people onto these Zoom calls, or at least watching the videos. Okay, so you put the community first, not yourself. Remember, platforms come and go, but the community is permanent. Wouldn't it be a shame to put all of your time and money and effort into one platform, get all of your people into that one platform, and then that's the one that goes bust? Okay, and now you have no community. Now you've got to start again from square one. You never have to start from square one when you build it in the proper way. Okay, so we have some criteria. I'm going to show you an illustration, and we have some. I'll show you an illustration, and before we get there, we'll talk about what our criteria are. One is it's got to be available everywhere. 2, it must have a unit-level compensation plan. And 3, people must be able to join for free or a very small amount of money, say $100. Now, if we do those 3 things, the reason we want to do those 3 things is because we can then maintain lines of sponsorship. And if you change any of those 3, you cannot maintain lines of sponsorship. So that's why they're in that order. It must be based, the platform must be based on real-world applications. So if they're trading, let's see the trading. If they're doing arbitrage, let's see the arbitrage, and so on. If there's a company involved, we need to be able to check out the company. Okay, the owners, the directors, the articles of association, the financial filings, addresses, just everything that you would normally check out about a company, their licenses and their insurances and just everything. And in fact, the worst part of this number 5 is when you have a scam business. They say, look, we have a certificate that says we're approved by, or we're registered with, the UK government, for example. And it takes me about 2 minutes to find out that 1, that's a fake certificate, 2, the company's not registered, and 3, that company number they've quoted is actually a completely different company altogether. So it doesn't take a lot to avoid being fooled. And then you say to yourself, if they're going to lie about their registration certificate, how can we trust them on anything else? Why would they lie if they're a legitimate company? Why not just show us their registration certificate? And if they haven't got one, register and get one. And the reason is because to register, you need to be able to verify who you are. Okay, so if possible, we must be able to meet the CEO or business owner and get our questions answered. The compensation plan must be realistic. It must be viable and sustainable. And the membership of Wealth Warriors must all be able to get behind the project. So nothing to cause us any ethical or moral dilemma. So the adopted platforms we have, one is the Republic of Old Souls. You can become part of the freedom movement as an advocate to recoup your recent expenditures and create your own currency. And I was explaining earlier about how you recoup your money, put it in the bank and spend it, recoup your money, put it in the bank and spend it. We call that the infinite money protocol. It's generally the most popular of the protocols that you can sign up for with the Republic of Old Souls. So you become a member of the of the Republic of Old Souls for free. Okay, get a link off of the person that introduced you or is introducing you to Wealth Warriors. You can sign up for free, become a member, go through some of the videos, some of the ebooks, work your way through, find out exactly what you want to do and in what order. And then you say, for example, right now I want to sign up for the infinite money protocol, and you pay some money at that point and you become a paid member. Okay, so any services you want to engage with the Republic of Old Souls about, you have to pay for them and you become a paid member. If you want to introduce other people, you need to request to become an advocate. And if you want to benefit from introducing advocates and members, then you need to become an advocate originator. Okay, so that's the Republic of Old Souls. There's far too much there for me. I could talk for about 3 days about the Republic of Old Souls, but basically it's part of the freedom movement, and you make money using certain protocols. Yeah, I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. So BitNex is a crypto staking company, but it's a very, very clever proposition. With most staking opportunities on the internet, what happens is you say, okay, I'm feeling a bit a bit rich. I'm going to put a few $1,000s into a staking opportunity, because to put a small amount in doesn't really benefit you. If you're going to get 0.5% a day and you're going to put in $100, it's going to take you 200 days to recoup your $100, another 200 days to make $100. Nobody's going to get excited about that. And so that's why you would say, I'm going to get involved in a staking operation. And all the platforms have staking operations: Binance, Kraken, I can't remember where I was earlier, Bitfinex. Okay, they've all got staking programs. You give them your money, they'll use your money to make more money, and you get a share of that. In fact, your banks do this anyway. They do this with overnight lending. They take money that's in your account that you think belongs to you, they think belongs to them, and they lend it out to other people overnight, or over a period of a few days, and they make 7% a day on that money. You don't get any of that. Okay, so staking is a tried and tested system for making money. It's basically lending money to people who want to pay for something up front. They want to pay exchange fees, for example, but they want to use your money to do it. Then after the deal's done, they pay for the exchange fees plus a little bit more, and so you make some profit. So the point being, you'd have to put a lot of money in order to make some money. Not with BitNex. With BitNex, you can get a smart contract written for $100. And that smart contract will do a few things. One of them is it will borrow some money. If it's a 2 or 3 year contract, it will borrow $30,240. And if it's a 5 or 7 year contract, it'll borrow $43,000. It will also take out an insurance policy to cover that bank loan. So if something happens, the bank gets their money back. That's why the bank are happy to lend the money. They either make good bank interest over every year for those 2, 3, 5, or 7 years, or if something goes wrong, they get their money back anyway, plus all the interest anyway. So there's nothing for them to lose. The insurance company like this because they They sell thousands and thousands of these insurance companies, policies every single day. Typically, an insurance policy, they earn $210 $210 a month, or $300 a month, depending how much is being insured. And they get that for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. Every single month, without fail, the contract pays them out that money. So they're more than happy. What happens at the end of the period is the smart contract has made enough profit using that bank loan. They've paid off all the insurance over the period of time. They've paid off the bank loan over the bank interest over the period of time. At the end of it all, then they pay off the bank loan, return all the money to the bank, and whatever's left is yours. And typically a 2-year contract will return $20,000 and a 3-year contract will return over $35,000. So for you, it's a great deal. The challenge is you've invested, for example, $100 and you've got to wait 2, 3, 5, or 7 years for your money. A lot of people don't like to do that. But then the argument is, well, the downside is $100. The upside could be $35,000. On a 5-year contract or a 7-year contract, it's ridiculously much more than that. So, you say, well, it's $100 or I could win this much. And people pay a lot more over a period of time for lottery tickets. For example, if you bought a lottery ticket every week for 2 years, how much is that going to be? 52, 104, 200. So you'd be paying £200, $200, whatever, over a 2-year period to buy a lottery ticket. The chances of winning are very, very, very slim. Whereas here you put $100 in, so you put in half as much, wait 2 years and walk away with $20,000. It's a bit better than a lottery. Viralio, I'm not going to say anything more about Viralio. I've been promising you guys that I will publish a letter that I was sent by the CEO of Viralio, but it's still not up and running. What they keep telling me is it is up and running, but it's not identified any good trades. I think they're beginning to realize that actually they need to look at it to find out why it's not. I think they've tightened things up too much, because when they would release it to us previously, we'd get losing trades, we'd lose a bit of money. And so they don't want that to happen again. I think they've gone too far the other way. And Viralio sat there saying, yeah, I'm waiting for the right market conditions. And of course, there are none. If you tighten the security too much, there are no viable trade opportunities. E-estate is a great business to do with tokenized real estate. Tokenized real estate has been around for almost 11 years now, and it's the future of real estate. It's the way real estate is coming on to the digital, or meeting the digital world, transforming into the digital world. It's taken 11 years. A few other people have tried a few things. The challenge with the way everybody else tried to deal with tokenized real estate is they came to it with their old mindset about what the real estate industry is where somebody has a lot of money and spots an opportunity and builds, for example, some apartments or some houses or some commercial property, whatever, finances it, maybe gets bank financing, works through the sales process then to sell these all off, and eventually after a few years they've made a good profit. And so when they started tokenizing real estate, they tried to stick to that same model. They tried to find people who had a lot of money so they could buy all of this tokenized real estate. What e-estate has done is realize that there's a lot more people who can afford $1,000 or a couple of thousand, or even just $100 for a share of some real estate. There's a lot more of those than there are people who've got hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to invest in real estate. So that's what they've done, is they've opened it up at that level for all of it. But they've also included a structure where if you have $100, you can get involved here. And if you have $1,000, you can get involved there. And if you have $20,000, you can get involved there, and so on. And you make better money the more money you put in. You make better returns the more money you put in. But even so, we can all get involved at a reasonable level, $100, a couple of $1,000, and build it up. Because what we do is we get profit every single day, which you don't get in a normal real estate operation. We get profit every single day, and after 18 months it drops from that enhanced profit picture down to 10% dividend every single year, which is a lot better than Microsoft is doing, a lot better than Tesla is doing at the moment. So it's a great business if you want to make money from real estate, but you don't want all of the hassle that goes with running a real estate business. And believe me, I could talk for 2 hours just about the problems involved in real estate. I used to own a real estate property sourcing business. I still own a real estate portfolio myself. And believe me, there's no fun. Since 2012, there's been absolutely no fun in real estate at all. Because, you know, if the government think you're having fun in real estate, they'll tax that as well. Lumex is a great business. It's basically an AI-driven quantitative arbitrage engine. And what that means is that, well, there are actually 6 different ways of these engines dealing with arbitrage. And arbitrage just means you spot the price, a price difference between something over here and the same thing somewhere else, and you quickly buy it at that price and sell it at that price. That's arbitrage. I know it's a lot more complicated than that. I actually did an arbitrage training course many years ago. It took a week to teach me that, and I've taught you in about 10 seconds. But there are other things you can do. You can go from one asset to another asset to a third asset and do some changes, and you know that's more difficult. But these AI engines do that in fractions of a second. The other thing is that because they do it so quickly, they can make it work. When I used to do arbitrage, I would spot a difference between dollars and euros over here and dollars and yen over there. And by the time I set up the trade and put it through and you know, put it all together, transferred the money and so on, I've missed the opportunity. In that sort of environment, the opportunity only lasted you know, an hour or less. Nowadays, with the computers doing it all, these opportunities last for a few seconds. But these transactions are done in fractions of a second, literally millionths of a second. It's almost accurate to say they happen at the same time. If you look at the timestamp of the buy and the timestamp of the sell, they have the same timestamp down to a few hundredths of a second. So it's happening within that time frame. And so that's what happens. You put some money in, you buy a contract, and that contract will earn you some of this profit from the arbitrage engines every single day. And in fact, you can see in the back office, you can see your account making profit every few seconds. At the end of the period, at the end of the contract period, you get your money back. So if you have put $1,000 in, it earns you money for example, a year. And then at the end of the year, you get your $1,000 back. You can say, well, I'm going to go again. Again, you can put platform, you can buy contracts for 7, 30, 90, 180, or 360 days. Entirely up to you. And all platforms, the minimum level for all of those contracts is $100. With some of these things, if you want to get involved in the things that have a bigger interest rate, then you need to put more money in. But this, you can get involved in even the best interest rate option for $100. So they're the 5 different platforms we have, 4 if you don't include Veralia, and all of the above platforms have programs for additional rewards for team building. And this is something that we love in Wealth Warriors, is building teams, because we want those teams to be in all of those platforms, so that when we adopt a new platform, it doesn't take many seconds before all of our teams, everybody in our team in these other platforms, end up in that brand new platform. And there are a number of benefits to that. One is you can build new businesses far faster than you built the old ones. With the first platform you build and using this system, it might take you, let's suppose it takes you I don't know, let's say you start a platform and to put 100 people in that platform is going to take you 3 months. Okay. Then if we're doing that with Wealth Warriors, you've already got 100 people in your team, you get involved in that one platform and you've got 100 people in there within maybe a couple of days. It depends how streamlined we can get your people, how mobilized we can get them, that when you join, they all join. The referral links get passed down within minutes, within hours. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. You don't start every platform from scratch. You also build it a lot faster. Okay, but most importantly is that when a platform goes bust, if it goes bust, your friends aren't mad at you because one platform failed, because you're still with them in 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 20, 25, 28 other businesses. They don't think you're the worst person in the world because they lost a little bit of money. Okay, they're still with you. You still maintained the integrity of your community and your permanent network. So that's why we like the team building side. So our communications, we run a Telegram supergroup, so make sure you get added to that. People often send me messages and say, what about this? And I say, are you reading this stuff that I'm posting in the Telegram group? I said, no, I didn't know there was a Telegram group. There is a Telegram supergroup. I post everything in there. So make sure your upline adds you to that group so you can keep up to date with changes. And if they don't, talk to me, write to me. My Telegram username is at the @ that you use in emails, at Andy10E6. That's Andy10E6. For those of you who are scientifically minded, that means Andy 1 million. Okay, 10 to the 6 is 1 million. So we hold the Zoom call every Sunday at 10 o'clock. So come again yourself, bring some new people, make sure they attend. It's your shortcut to fast growth. And also, I don't know about you, I can't explain Wealth Warriors to people except in this format. If I were to talk to somebody and say, come and join me in this platform. Oh, by the way, I want you to come and join this platform as well. But now that you're in those two, I want you to join this platform. It just sounds tacky. And they say, well, hang on, let's just see how these two go. Let's see how this one goes before I get involved in anything else with you. Okay, I've only just met you. Let's just make sure we can work together, you know. Whereas if you show them this video, or if you bring them along to this presentation, I'll tell them why they need to look at all 5 platforms. It's nothing about you. It's nothing to do with whether they get on with you. It's that they can build a team for themselves that they can then benefit from, as in they can build their businesses faster. They don't destroy their permanent network, and they can make a lot more money with 5 platforms than they can with 1. But you can't explain that to people. If you can, let me know, because I'd like you to come and explain to some of my people. What I do with the people I talk to is I send them a video. Okay, because it just explains it so much better than you can yourself. Attend the Zoom calls of the platforms. When I find a Zoom schedule for a platform, I put it in the Telegram group. Take your people with you. For the Republic of Old Souls, when you register, work your way through the webinars and books at your own pace. But get something done. There's a long road with the Republic of Old Souls. So get started, attack all that information with a little bit of zest, if you like. Find out all about it, because you can't get very far down that road without the knowledge they're providing for you. At some point before you adopt some of the protocols, they will want to test you to make sure you understand and that you know exactly what you're doing. Because if you don't, everything you do with them could be undone by you not understanding what you're doing. Okay, so work your way through that. Get the referral links for all the platforms from the person who invited you. Register in all the opportunities and make a note of all of your referral links. Now, with Republic of Old Souls, you've got a request to become an advocate. I would do that on day 1 when you become a member. Request to become an advocate, request to become an advocate originator. That's what I would do. Even if I don't then subsequently introduce somebody, that's what I would do, because it's not going to be long before somebody's going to say, can you pass me your link? Okay, with Viralio, which isn't available yet, but when it is, you need to click a button to say, I want to become an affiliate, and they will then send you a referral link. With e-estate, you don't get to be an agent. You can't introduce other people until you become an agent. And so again, what I did is I signed up as a buyer, then I signed up as an agent, then I bought my first property, then I introduced a few people. So that's the order I would suggest you do it. If you become a buyer first, you might miss out on the commissions from the properties you buy. If you become an agent and then buy a property as a buyer, you as an agent get the commissions from you as a buyer buying the properties. So that's what I would suggest. And also, you can't introduce anybody else until you become an agent. So pass those links on and then get all of them started. If you can get all of them started, and what I recommend people to do is to keep your portfolio balanced. So if you're going to put $100 into one, put $100 into all of them. If you're going to put $1,000 into one, put $1,000 into all of them. Okay, that's kind of what I suggest. What you don't want to do is to have 90% of your money in one platform and a little bit spread out across the others, because if that's the platform that goes bust, you've lost most of your money. Keep it balanced. You may not like them all equally, but keep it balanced. Similarly, when you're actually getting started, if you can, get them all started. If you can't, just get involved in the one that interests you. And as you make profit from that, then get another one started. And as you make profit from those two, get another one started. So we're trying to keep our portfolio balanced. Then make sure you get added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group if you're not already. Attend a Zoom call or watch a video for each platform. And then as new platforms are added, get your referral link from your upline and join as quickly as possible. Pester them, send them messages, phone them up. Come on, I want your link. Okay, it works really, really well. People pester their upline to get the link so that they can get involved and pass it down. Okay, that's it's kind of a different thing. Rather than you having to chase people up to say, do you want to get in? They're phoning you saying, give me your link now, go get it now. Okay, so it sounds a pain, but it's the way to do it. And then you pass your referral link on to your existing team. See if you can do that before your people have to chase you up. A little competition there. And then get on a presentation for that new platform as quickly as possible. So this is how to grow your Wealth Warriors community. Bring people to the Wealth Warriors Zoom calls. We have this one on Sunday. We have another one on Wednesdays, just focusing on the platforms, the strategizing, cross-platform strategization, I call it. Or by sharing this video from YouTube. You only have to promote 1 or 2 platforms and then bring your new members to Wealth Warriors, and I will do the work for you, for them to learn about the other platforms. You can get a BitNext landing page. I'm not going to go into that any more detail than this. So if you want to see this, grab this video, scroll back to this part. It's about 2 minutes before the end, and it'll tell you what that link is and how to use it. eEstates has a landing page available for you anyway. There's help and other information, marketing information, for example, videos and things like that available. For BitNext, it's available on a boards platform, so you can go there and join this. It's free. After a week, you'll be asked, or you'll be told, if you don't sign up as a paid member, you're going to be limited to 1 set of boards, which is absolutely fine because you only need access to the BitNext boards pages. So yeah, everything you need to know about it is there, including ideas for landing pages, ideas for warm emails, cold emails, Telegram messages, videos about people that have made a lot of money, how to build your own free landing page that I talked about just now. So that's an important place to know about. Republic of Old Souls, you go here, and that's where all the information is. If you want to register, make sure and get the link from the person who introduced you and register using their link. Don't go on here to register. Don't go on this site to register. If you do, you'll be given to a random person and it will destroy your lines of sponsorship. So make sure that you get the link from the person who introduced you. Viralio doesn't have a link at the moment for help and advice, but there is a trusted advisor system, and it will be available when Viralio launches properly. There's a knowledge base in the eEstate back office, everything you could possibly want to know, including videos, tutorials, teaser videos, copies of company documents, certificates, presentations by buyers and agents, and just everything you could possibly want is available in the back office of eEstate as soon as you've registered. And Lumex has support materials in a dedicated Telegram group. As soon as you bought a contract in Lumex, you'll be given access to this dedicated Telegram group called Resources. 2 slides from the end. So the point is, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We're not interested in anybody else dictating the terms to us. Okay, and if you want to change what I'm doing or what we're doing as Wealth Warriors, you have a voice. You can talk to us. We can get together. We can have a big discussion. And in fact, I'm going to have a discussion after this video about something I want your feedback on. So that'll only be for the people that are actually on the call, and we'll try and make some of our tools a bit better than they are. So yeah, we're only interested in what we can do for ourselves. We're not interested in what somebody else wants us to do for them. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term. And we only work with companies that are above board, as far as we can tell, of course. I mentioned earlier, you can't always tell the difference. And sometimes you can tell the difference, but it changes. So we want to build a large asset. This is our game plan with all of the platforms. We want to build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income. If you get involved in the passive side of things, you want to be able to compound, add more and more and more back in so that you have a lot of whatever it is we have, whether it's contracts, whether it's real estate, whatever it is. Okay, we want a lot of it because that produces a lot of income. If we're team building, we want to build a big team because that's how you get a large income from your team building side. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. People do get upset when I tell them that the much beloved program doesn't meet our criteria and therefore we're not getting involved in it. People argue with me and start calling me names and things like this, but I'm not going to budge. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. I think that we will, if we only had 2 or 3 platforms that were different from what the standard pattern that we're looking for, we would spend more of our time on those few platforms than we would on the other 20 or 30 that we're going to have. So we're trying to make it easy. We don't want these online businesses to take over our lives. We want them to provide the income that we want. We want them to provide the freedom that we want. But then having that income and that freedom, we want to have the freedom to go and enjoy it, not constantly working with our teams, helping our teams solve problems and so on. And the point is that we apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We're not interested in what any of these companies want. They're not interested in what we want. They do things just to suit themselves. We've seen that earlier this week with Lumex changing part of the compensation plan from being 6 levels deep to being 2 levels deep, because it's their plan to get listed on the Binance Alpha. I don't know if I call it an exchange, but they want to be listed, and there are rules to them getting listed for that. Okay, so they don't care about the fact that some of us have lost some income by them doing that. It's not a big deal. It will come out later in the wash because the incomes from Lumex are still enormous, or the potential is. Okay, but they're not interested in what we want, so we're not interested in what they want. We only want the passive income and the team building income. That's it. And we also don't want to be at the mercy of any one company. If one company decides they've had enough and want to pack up and go home, take their ball and go home, okay, we don't want that to ruin our lives, ruin our relationships. So finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. So do not share your password with other credentials with anyone. And where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts because it's your only line of security that you're in control of. So make sure you have control of it. Don't rely on the company not being hacked or anything else. Okay, rely on you setting up your 2FA properly. Be a bit professional about that. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Make sure the executors of your will, your living will, your power of attorney, or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your incapacitation or death. Wouldn't it be a shame to have, a wallet with 10 or 20 Bitcoin tucked away? You're thinking that's going to be great for my grandchildren or for my children to take care of. And then when you die, nobody knows that you've got that money and nobody knows how to access it. So make sure that that information is available. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters in our own lives. And you can see there are houses and yachts and fast cars and beaches and a man with a load of Bitcoin. So that's what I wish for you, for your future. I wish for all of us for our future. Bitcoin, you can see in the background there, Bitcoin is going up in price. We fully expect Bitcoin to get to 1 million or 2 or 3 million, certainly in my lifetime, in your lifetime. the sky's not the limit, but it's pretty close. So, you know, Bitcoin is a good investment. And of course, it drags all the other cryptocurrencies along with it. The crypto world is a bit of a wild, wild west, as in there are a lot of cowboys out there that will have your money away from you without giving it a second thought. So you need to be a little bit more clever than that. Don't just rely on any one platform. Don't rely just on any one thing. Don't rely just on any one crypto coin. Make sure that you have a diversification. Although if you're going to rely just on one crypto coin, I would say Bitcoin should be it. But just have a little bit of maturity about what you're doing in this space. It's not running around from pillar to post, trying to jump into the fastest or the best opportunities as quickly as possible. Okay, it's about the long haul. It's about the long run, not the short term. So with that, I'd just like to finish by saying, get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They're ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. So with that, I'm going to stop the share and we're going to get back to the room. And I'm going to say we're actually pretty much on time. So I'm going to open up the room. If anybody wants to unmute themselves, put your hand up so as I know you've got a question. And yeah, so if you've got a question, iPhone 71, sorry, I don't know your name. I probably do. But by all means, unmute yourself. Come and say hi.
Oh, hi, Andy. It's Grace here.
Oh, Grace, hi. Sorry, I should recognize you from iPhone 71, shouldn't I?
I know. That's all right. Okay, so I have a question. So in BitNex, you know how they changed the website from Cryptex to BitNex?
Yes.
Have you had anyone that had an issue with their contracts disappearing? I have one of my downlines. Apparently, you know, he had never logged in since we moved. Today was the first time, and when he logged in, all his contracts were gone.
Oh, no. Okay, and so he logged into the BitNex site.
Yes.
Okay, did he use the right email address?
Oh yeah. And you know, so I
Okay.
called his immediate upline, who is you know, she's under me, but she's above him. So I wanted to see if he shows up in her downlines. And yeah, when we checked, yes, she said he shows up with the same email and he is showing as active, which means, you know,
It
somebody
shows the
that has contracts. Yeah. But
so it
when he
shows the right
logs,
number of contracts.
pardon me?
In the upline's account for his front line, it shows the right number of contracts.
I don't think it shows the number of contracts, but he is showing up as being active. And it's the same email address that he's logging in with. But when he logs into his, there is nothing on his profile, 0 contracts.
Okay. Okay, just give me a few seconds. I'm just about to log in here, and it's very slow when I'm on Zoom. Not as slow as it used to be, of course. I don't know if you remember that.
Pardon me?
I don't know if you remember when you used to say, I'm going to log into my Cryptex account, and so click the button and say, I'm just going to go and make myself a cup of coffee. So,
Okay, sure.
and come back. My first line. Come on. So we have details there. Yeah, it does. In the bottom left corner, it tells you how many active contracts they've got.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I will check on that as then.
Okay, so the only
Yeah,
reason
because I don't, you know, like I
that,
don't have anybody else who with that issue. So I was like, I don't know if anyone else, you know, has had that issue.
yes, the only reason I wanted to ask that is because when you talk to support, it's going to be a different problem. If you say, I can see, you know, I can see her contracts, but she can't see her own contracts, or if nobody can see her contracts, it's support will start looking in a different place. But definitely make sure she gets onto support to get that sorted.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's just a thing hanging over from the update of the database.
Yeah, probably. That's what I thought too.
But they still have the old database information. They can go back and check and then update everything accordingly.
Okay. All right. So I hope they do that. The only issue that I've had with support is they never respond. They'll fix the issue sometimes, but they
Yes,
never respond.
yes. I know it is frustrating. I don't know what to say. I can't make an apology or an excuse for them because I find it frustrating as well. Everybody does. But I'm sure if she just keeps on them, what I do with support, some of you guys know this. What I do with support is I send a message like this. I'd send it every 4 days, and then after I've sent it about 3 or 4 times, I'd start sending every 3 days, and every 2 days, and every one day. And I actually got to the point with one company that I was sending the same support email every hour, and in the end, they phoned me and said, please stop sending the same email over and over again. So all you got to do is say you've got it. All you got to do is just acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, make a nuisance of yourself. There's an old expression that says the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So
Yeah.
make sure she's the squeaky wheel.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Andy, I thought you'd said to use the different address for withdrawals if we needed to contact them and weren't getting anywhere.
I'm sorry, say that again, Sean.
Didn't we talk about this last year? And we decided to use the withdrawal address for support. We weren't getting anywhere.
No, only if you've been sent an email, which I noticed they don't do that anymore. When you used to request a withdrawal, they would send you an email, and then if you because you have to respond to that with a Y,
Right.
to say yes, this is
Yes.
me, I want this money. And then in the future, if you have a problem, you get that email out and you reply to it again,
Right.
and they would pay more attention to that.
Right.
But
Exactly.
they don't send those emails out anymore. For some reason.
What?
I know, it's crazy. But well
Dude.
remembered. Yeah,
So,
I did a withdrawal the other day and I didn't get an email.
so can you still send to that substitute BitNext or BitDex and send to that or no?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so that might be the way to go.
could be. But there is a support email address, isn't there?
Yeah, that never works, like she said.
And also in the back office is the support ticket.
Yeah. I think we both found that sending to that withdrawal address was the best way to get anything done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only drawback with BitNext is the support.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that reminder, Sean. Mervyn, come and say hi.
Yeah. Okay, my question is about the Lumix compensation plan changes that occurred here just this last week. I'm getting questions also from my team, like to try to explain it or whatever. One of the questions that I can't explain is, okay, if there was a requirement to meet some kind of regulation because of the number of levels, why did they change the actual percentage change on level 1 and level 2 from 20% down to 10% on level 1 and from 15% on level 2 to 5%?
Generally, when I've seen platforms that are rearranged to meet this requirement, I don't know if it's always for Binance Alpha, but I have seen a number of platforms and it's always 10% and 5%. And in fact, if you notice, I don't know whether you're involved in Veralio, but Veralio is 10% and 5%. No, it's not. Sorry, that's wrong. It's 7.5% and 2.5%. Forget I said that.
But they
But
were
yes,
at
I
20,
think
20 and 15.
yeah, I think it's all to do with the compliance requirements. I think it's all the same thing. I don't know why. I don't know for sure why those figures were chosen.
Okay.
Trying to find the thing I posted. It's frustrating for me when I post things in my own chat group and look a bit later and it's gone.
Anyway, I've noticed that just in my account with my spreadsheet that I use, it just tracks actual $5 deposits into my wallet, and it doesn't matter where the $5 is created, whether it's in the direct referrals or whether it's in the levels or anything like that. It all just becomes a $5 dump into your wallet. And since the change, it has reduced, because most of mine, I'm not a level 1 or anything yet. I'm still just
Yeah.
working on the direct ones. It has reduced the percentage of earnings by about 0.2%.
Yes. Yeah, well, I noticed my daily earnings income almost halved. But is made up is more than made up for by the different level earnings. So it's still it is still a good business. The amount of money we
Yeah.
can make by working up through the levels is tremendous. Is
Yeah.
my only bugbear is if they knew that they were going to go for this compliancy or this recognition 2 months ago when they opened their door, and if they knew what the requirements were, why did they put in these other requirements and then have to change them? You know,
Right.
if you overpromise and underdeliver, nobody likes it. But if you and I used to say this to all of my clients, the only thing you need to do to be better than your competition is just do what you say you're going to do. And if people do, if we all register in something that says you're going to get 10% and 5%, and that's what we get, we're more than happy. But if they say, well, you're going to get 63% at this level, and then you get 10%, or then you get 15%, you think that's not right. That's not what I don't know.
Yeah. No,
That's just
I
that's just
totally
me.
agree with. So with
But
the strategy,
I don't want to moan though, because I don't want people to think that it's not a good business. It really is a good business.
yeah, no, I agree with that. I like the business. It's the way that they just made a change there, and just trying to explain it to my team or whatever with the questions as to why they reduced the percentage on level 1 and 2. But as far as the amount of tokens or whatever for levels 3, 4, 5, and 6, I guess that's also based on a percentage, right? Percentage of earnings. And you still have to have one $100 for level 1, $500 for 2 levels down and 2 people underneath you. What is it? 1,000 for 3 levels down, and
No,
so forth.
I don't think you need to unlock the levels in the same way you used to. I've not seen anything about that. I think they've replaced it with a much more simple thing that you, as soon as you have people on the different levels, if you have one person and they have 25 people on level 2, then you earn 10% on that one person you've introduced and 5% on all of those 25 people. You don't necessarily need a second person to unlock level 2. I could be
I thought,
wrong. Don't take that as gospel, but that's the way I
yeah,
read the document when I read it.
I thought I'd seen something on that latest global Zoom or whatever. Anyway, I could be mistaken, but the um, also the back office I noticed has changed a little bit with it. Shows now my account kind of, but I click on it. I don't have anything in that, so I don't know. I guess is that where the
Yes.
tokens are going to show up?
I think so. You're talking about the account.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that's going to be for, but as far as I know, everybody's account is 0 at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Just making a note. And I'll find out about that other thing about unlocking levels 1 and 2. I'll find out and feedback to you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate everything you're doing there, Andy.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Yeah. It's all done with love. John, how you doing, John?
Yeah, okay, Andy, thanks. Yeah, just a very quick question. Did you look at that podcast thing I sent you for Matrix on the bank recoupment, as it was originally called? Sent it to you, I think, on later on Saturday.
No, I
You
didn't.
did,
It's on my list of things to
right?
watch.
Okay, look, you need to look at that. It's very important if you are in any sort of bank recoupment process at the moment, because they are changing the system again. Probably be a much improved thing, but I know that you're about one step away from getting your money. You could find you're going to have to take a bit of a backward step,
Okay.
but it's got some big advantages. I won't attempt to go through what was said on it, but it's being done for a reason. That business with Amy Sanger and the fraud trust stuff that all went on, that could be causing a roadblock. So they found a way of eliminating that. And also there's some good offers there for bringing more bank recoupments in at a zero cost, but more of a back end cost. So there's a lot of information in it.
Yes. And I noticed that Ian, in the Telegram group, Ian has added lots and lots of different protocols,
Yes,
different
yeah.
things. So yeah, it'll be interesting as long as it's not too confusing and nobody's got
No,
to
it's not. I mean, I can understand it, so
jump
was
over
by
further.
it.
Yeah, well, you're clever. Take pity on me.
Um, but no, it was worth watching. I hesitated whether to spend the couple of hours on it because it does go on a bit, but the main part is only about an hour. The rest of it you could probably skip over, but it's well worth watching.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a podcast rather than a Zoom.
It is a podcast, yeah.
Okay,
I,
brilliant.
I sent you the link to it, and you obviously saw it because you did respond saying, "Yeah, we'll do." So,
Yes. And
yeah.
I fully intended to. I will.
Okay,
But
great,
so
Andy.
thank you
Thank
for that.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Gertruda. How are you? Hello, Gaia. Gertruda.
Oh, can you not hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, call me Gaia. I need to change that. I don't know why it's coming up like that. I'm fully with it with John. John, would you be able to know if people who started mortgage recoupments, are they as well entitled for the bank payment recoupments? Did you understand it like that in the podcast, or
I
I'm just
didn't pick
wondering?
that. I didn't pick that up, Gaia. I'm not saying they're not entitled to it, but I was only listening from the bank recoupment thing, so it would have probably gone by me because it wasn't important.
Okay.
I can't remember them mentioning that in any detail.
Okay, I
Are you
better
doing
go
bank?
and
Okay, are you doing
no,
bank payment
no,
recoupments? Oh, okay.
no, mine
I'm
was
gonna
so
listen. I'm gonna
poor.
listen. Okay, I'm gonna listen to the podcast that John sent me, and if I think it's got anything to do with mortgage recoupments, I will. Well, let everybody know really.
Well, he mentioned any recoupments, anything when you started your process. You know, we started with currency creation that got stopped. Then I did my IM free that got stopped. Then we could recoup things and move it to Ross. That's what I then did. I did my mortgage, starting with the mortgage recoupment. So I am thinking anybody who started any recruitment, because so many things have postponed, they may be still entitled to. He mentioned anybody who started a process. So I guess later on, he only talked about bank payment recruitment people and did examples for them. So I will have a meeting with Kirsty on Tuesday for my downline. Maybe I can ask her as well, because that could be important for people who didn't do bank payment recruitment, that we all can ask for that special offer with the, you know, the back ends paying for all your bank payment recruitments. That would be so epic. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think if anybody knows the answer, it'll be Kirsty.
Yeah. So that's one thing. And then I'm a bit surprised. I must have missed the Lumex changes. I'm always wary when new products change their system and their goalposts, that it is all kind of,
You
So
know, I
can you?
absolutely hate it, don't you? It's
I hate it. I know what's coming next. Too often happen, Andy.
I know, but these people are changing this to get a better standing in terms of compliance, so that they can give us a long-term future, or give themselves a long-term future. That's the reasoning behind it. I'm not saying it's true or not,
Uh-huh.
but
Okay,
yes,
and so are
normally
we
change.
earning less?
Let me share this with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm in the car. I needed to go out, so I
It's
tried
okay.
to see it.
I've opened up the wrong presentation. Have I got the new one?
I haven't informed my team at all.
Refined edition, that's the one. This has still got the old chart in as well. Okay. I'm pretty sure I posted the new chart. Okay, I'll make sure it goes into the Wealth Warriors group anyway. But yes, basically it's just level 1 is 10%, level 2 is 5%.
Okay, but the initial investment just in your packs, that hasn't changed.
That's right. And then when you work
that's
your way
good.
up through V1 to V8, it's still you still make a lot of money from that.
Yeah, but I'm just worried some people don't even want to share in my team. They just want to get their daily return and live off that. So that hasn't changed. Is that right?
That's right. Yes. Okay, so listen, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the recording now, and then what I'd like to do is
thank you.
Okay, I'll be around for a while, Gaia, if you wanted to carry on chatting, and I'm going to share the spreadsheet with you as it is now, and then I'm going to ask for your feedback and your information, so feedback about what you want to see in a tool that's going to help you predict the future. So, for those of you watching by video, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We do this call on a Sunday evening, 10 o'clock UK time, and we do one on a Wednesday, 10 o'clock UK time, just about the platforms. So I'll look forward to seeing you guys then. God bless, and see you on the next one.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.